concerns about the scope of the idea of what we were attempting to regulate. A number of us around this table always attempt to balance regulation against the effects, the unintended consequences. And I remember Councilmember Gallegos and a number of us speaking to a number of issues. And I'm pleased to say that in the time since, I've not only met with Ms. Spangen, but other representatives from other organizations that have participated in this. And I've been educated to the process that, Mayor, as I understand it, this ordinance parallels similar sorts of ordinances across the state and experiences not only Austin, I think Dallas and other cities have as well. So it appears as though that this is a reasonable balance between regulation of attempting to regulate and do something on business that will positively outcome the health and benefit of the citizens of Houston. And I'm pleased to have been able to not be able to support it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Gallegos.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilmember Laster. Yes, I also had some concerns initially, but Laura Spangen did come to my office and she did address those concerns. Representing the industrial East End, there are a lot of 18-wheelers that are just idling there in the neighborhoods, and we have received calls from residents concerned, and they do support this anti-idling ordinance, and therefore I do support it as well. So thank you.
Councilmember Pennington.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Councilmember Boykins, for mentioning the items that you did, and brings to my suggestion that really Mr. Moss and I discussed, and that is to begin this program in certain limited areas. As we all know, passing a regulation or statute ordinance is only the beginning and has to be enforced. And I'm very well aware that there are a lot of sensitive areas in the city, but it seems like to me a good way to start, since we all know we have a limited number of officers on the street, is to pick out several that we think that we can properly enforce on, and to begin our work there, the museum area, some of the roads on the east side, and try out that, and maybe have the media be our friends, and they could talk about the arrests that are made for for idling, and maybe we get a better result that way, rather than putting something in the force in all of the city. Thank you.
Councilmember Starting.
Mayor, I just too would like to remind all the directors one more time that there's more than one school district in the city of Houston. In our first term, I said it often, and I just want to make sure that when we, for my colleagues, when we're looking for something in our community that impacts the entire city, that we don't only just check with our immediate school districts, that we check with all the school districts, have the departments check with all of them, because they're all impacted. My particular district, District A, has 5 school districts that we touch. So I want to make sure that all districts are represented when we have these issues. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, there are 11 districts with schools in Houston, and I believe 17 school districts that actually have property in the city of Houston. Councilmember Boykins, and a reminder, Councilmember, this item has been tagged. Councilmember Boykins is not in the queue anymore. Okay, the item has been tagged.